just to respect that it's a big honor to share the stage with you. So thank you so much for the opportunity. And before we even start the interview, I want to check with this entire audience. How's the Josh?
Hi, ma'am.
I know people are confused. Say hi, ma'am. What, ma'am? How's the Josh?
Hi, ma'am.
How's the Josh?
Hi, ma'am.
How's the Josh?
Hi, ma'am.
Thank you. So with that, our first question to you, ma'am, is what is that very first thing that drew you towards cricket back in those days when even men's cricket in India was still finding its feet?
They always say that behind a successful man, there's a lady. But for me, to get my success, it was my father who led me to cricket. So I am what I am today in front of you as Shobha Pandit is because of my father.
Ma'am, there are any memories with your parents or families that you would like to share with us today relating to cricket?
The little that comes to my mind is when we were playing in my grandfather's house. I had my grandmother, my mother's mother. Out of concern, she would always say, she's playing a gentleman's game. If she gets a hurt, who's going to marry her? And it was then that my mamas came in and supported me and said, Mommy, let her play. She's better than all of us. Let her continue playing. And if she doesn't get married, we are there to look after her. So this was the support that I got right from day one.
And back in those days, when there was a rule to get into the house before 7 p.m. for women, that is commendable.
Yes. One of the few lucky ones who were blessed with a lot of support from all sides.
That's beautiful to know. Thank you for sharing, ma'am. So can you just share any vivid moment that comes to you from your tour of Australia and New Zealand? And one additional leg to the question is, how were you funded as a team back in those days?
Those days, funding was a big, major question. And we were lucky enough to have parents who allowed us to play. Because the association never could fund us because they were also facing teething problems. Now, when we had this tour of Australia and New Zealand, we were promised to be leaving from Bombay. But unfortunately, the last minute rule was that we had to go to Delhi, report at Delhi and leave from there. And the government of India sadly gave us just $56 for 56 days.
So $1 per day.
$1 per day. But we were children playing cricket and we were just wanting to go and play. We never realized what $56 for 56 days would be. We were happy that we didn't have to ask our parents to give us money. So we just kept a smile on our face and we went on the tour. But after going there, we realized what $56 for 56 days meant.
And did it change any feeling when you got to know that it was just $56?
We were never kept in hotels over there. So we were billeted with families. Our boarding, lodging, everything was looked after by the family. So a question of expenditure over there was reduced. I wrote just one letter back home, saying this is my first and last letter. Don't expect any more letters from me because my day's expense has gone into that letter. So that's how I pacified my family in the house, saying I'm safe and sound. No news is good news. I am playing the game and I'm happy where I am.
Beautiful, ma'am.
Ma'am, we have heard that Lala Amarnath used to call you Cher. And there was one instant where your bat cracked. So would you like to share that instant with us and what he said to you back then?
Normally, the teams practice the previous day, previous evening or during the day they have a practice, and the next day they have their matches. So we were playing our first official test against West Indies in Bangalore, 1976. And I broke my bat during practice. And since the association never gave us the bats, we had to get these from our parents. And it was very difficult for me to even ask for a pair of gloves, because knowing well the situation at home, the only breadwinner in the house. So it was something that was worrying me and that kept me thinking as to what I would do if India wins the toss tomorrow and elects to bat, because I would be walking out without a bat in my hand. But luckily, Lala Munad ji, who used to call me Cher, said, शेर तो रोता नहीं है भाई, शेर तो दूसरों को रुलाता है, क्यों आप रो रहे हो? इतनी सी बात है, आप बेफिक्र रहिए, आपको वो आपका प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा. Because that's the only thing that I could relate to him was my eyes watering. I could not talk that day. And then immediately the girls put in their bats and I picked up a bat, and it happened to be Diana's bat, who was my teammate from Bombay. And I was holding a Granicles in my hand, and I was in the seventh heaven. I said, God, you've come down as a blessing for me. And today I have to honor that bat, honor the person who lent me that bat, and honor everyone who made it possible for me to go onto the field with a cricket bat in my hand. And that's where I hit the first four for India. That's where I scored That's where I scored the first 50 for India. And that was the first test, official test against the West Indies.
And no helmets.
No helmets. And thigh pads as good as not being there. Because our shin bones were all black and blue at the end of the day.
So I think what you just started off with, that you mentioned there is a man behind every successful woman. So here there was another man that supported you in going on to the field and
Yes.
giving your best. So
Yes.
that's beautiful to know. So the next question just brings us, which personally I feel I cannot even imagine, but I can just take the leverage of asking that question, ma'am, is that your journey has been full of challenges and experiences. So back in those days, even getting a kit, even getting the right diet was a huge challenge, right? So what is the self-talk that you used to do and how the grit used to come?
We were never given a doctor in the team. We traveled without a doctor in the team. We never had the support system that today you see. There are 17 players but 22 support system that stands for a photograph. That itself tells you what the support system is today. But we had to create our own support system. We had to talk to ourselves, get ourselves onto the most difficult moment with our head on our shoulders. And for this, I would say it was all blessings that came to our side. Had it not been for the blessings, I don't think we would have ever been able to bring the game of cricket to what it is today.
Anything that you remember was your favorite self-dialogue that you used to keep telling yourself?
I would always say, watch the ball and play it to the merit. I would keep talking to myself every time I was on the ground, and I had made a promise that every time I was asked to bat, I would score a minimum 50 and come back. That was what I could give back to my father for what he had done for me.
Beautiful. I think the learning I got is give your 100% in every step. That you
Yes.
Ma'am, so we all know that you have been given the nickname of Lady Gavaskar. Would you like to share how that happened?
Yes, I would like to share this to all of you, but remember, ultimately I am Shobha Pandit.
Yes.
Yes, I am here. I can't forget my father's name, right? So I will be Shobha Pandit till the end. But having been named as Lady Gavaskar gave me a lot of courage to continue playing. We were playing in Australia, and one of the journalists was recording. He was, reporting for the Indian team, and we went in around 4:30. We were in our official outfits, which was saris. They said, "Lady." And next morning he sees me in my cricketing gear opening the batting for India. So he said, Gavaskar, because Gavaskar was doing very well in the West Indies at that time. So Lady and Gavaskar came together, and that's how I got my name as Lady Gavaskar. And to give you a little bit more, Gavaskar is my mentor even today. Even today, when I go to Bombay, I do not come back without meeting him.
That is beautiful. So, ma'am, during your hard times, if there were any, like you mentioned, Sunil sir are your mentor. Was there any specific advice that he gave it to you which still stick with you today?
The first question I asked him when I was selected for the nationals was, we were 17 players in one room at that time. And knowing well, each one is made differently. One would be dancing, one would be singing, one would be throwing things across. And it's very difficult for a person who, I was an introvert and I used to play. And I never used to be able to speak to people. So I asked Sunil, I said, Sunil, how do I keep my head cool? Because I have to go and open the batting order for the team. And to open the batting order, you need to have your head on your shoulder. How do I do that? He said, Shobha, I give you one advice. Carry a book with you. Be the first one to get ready from the room. Go out and sit all by yourself, trying to concentrate on the game that's coming, that you're going to be playing. And I followed that till the last. Even today, I have a book in my bag. And I make sure that whenever I am a little low or whenever I am a little lonely, I pull out that book and I read. And that gives me a lot of confidence to come back to my normal self.
So, ma'am, I also like to read books. Is there any specific book that you would like to recommend us all today that each one of us should read?
I've written an autobiography called Beyond Boundaries. It's about my journey, telling you how great people held my hand and brought me to what I am today. If given a chance, I would like all of you to just glance through that book. Read it if you wish, and then get back to me on it. Because that's going to tell you what the journey that we have faced, we have gone through, and we have come out of it with a smile on our face. Whatever we have is here, whatever we have is here, which no one can take away from us. And I'm sitting here in front of you is because you all have given me this. You all have called me here with a lot of love, and I feel I'm grateful that you all have honored me today. Thank you.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence, ma'am.
So the question that we have for you is, you have met some legendary people in your lives, and one of them was our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi.
Yes.
So would you like to just share an excerpt of what was the conversation you and him had?
imagine late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ji sitting next to me like this, talking to me before I was going into bat, and she would call me Pandit ji. Rightly so, I mean, my surname was Pandit, so Pandit ji would be the first thing she would say. So I turned around and I said, because Pandit ji at that time was what her father was called. So I turned around. She said, "नहीं, मैं आपसे बात कर रही हूँ." And that's how the conversation started. And then she said, "आज कितना स्कोर करोगे आप? मैं तो बैठूंगी, आपको देखना है, मेरे को आपका बैटिंग देखना है." So this was the conversation we used to have. And the rightful words that she has given me are in my book, which meant a lot to me. Maybe meaning a lot to people who can go through it. Because that's what she said, a lady should be a lady. Whatever you do, don't forget your feminism, which is kindness, tolerance, and adjusting to whatever the situation. And it was so true. That is what a lady is. She's a multitasker. You know, in a kitchen when the mother is doing something, she gets a thing that my tiffin is not filled. The little fellow comes and says, "My tiffin is not filled." So she fills it and gives it. The second call is, "My coffee is not hot. Please make it hot." So that coffee is made hot. And at the same time, she's handling a lot of other things. So that's where we as ladies can adjust to whatever situation comes our way.
This is timeless wisdom.
So, we noticed in the 2025 World Cup that all the umpires were women. So, back in your days, were the umpires, coaches, administrators, all women, or were they males, or what was the situation back then?
We never really differentiated between the men coming in as our support system, and at the same time, we did at times, hoped there would be ladies in their positions. There were certain situations where, as girls, as young girls, we didn't really expect those sort of situations from the male folk. We were playing nationals at Kanpur, and Sunil's sister was our wicketkeeper for Bombay, and she was not taken in the playing 11 as well as not in the 12. She was not even the 12th. But the public wanted to see her because at that time Sunil was a big name in the cricketing
Also,
arena.
son-in-law of Kanpur.
Yes. So we had a lathi charge that happened, and we had to go underground for 3 hours because Nutan Gavaskar was not allowed to come onto the field. So at the end of the whole thing, they requested us to at least ask her to, be the 12th man and come and give you something. So she's on the field. And that's how, those were the moments when we felt that, if there were ladies, it would have been a little better. A little better.
I think your generation is that for current generation. I think they can now proudly say that we have someone who we can look up to.
Correct.
And go on with that.
So you just shared a beautiful moment, ma'am, of your journey. Any memorable moment or any even funny moment that you may not have revealed to the world and you would like to share with us as an anecdote?
Difficult to bring it in today. Lots of moments and time factor is one big aspect of it.
No, please take your time. We
Yeah.
don't want to rush you.
The funny moment was when We were playing the test in Madras, and Diana was the bowler, and the West Indian team was playing. And the ball slipped from her hand. And the ball went to the batsman. And the umpire did not call it a dead ball. So the batsman tried to hit it, and she missed it. The wicketkeeper went and got a run out. So Diana appealed to the umpire, asking, how was that? So he didn't know what to say, whether it's out or it's not out, because the ball had rolled to the batsman. So then the batsman comes and says, how are you giving me out? I'm not out. And that's how, we remember Diana as one of the most educated person as far as cricket is concerned. She knows what she talks. She knows what she says. And she knows when to say and what to say. Even today. So today she's the advisor for NCA women's cricket, and we are happy that she's there, because we know that will be a supported area. It was a funny moment. At the same time, it was quite serious. But then, at that moment, we all had a laugh.
And that is true. In fact, back then there was no DRS systems and everything.
Correct.
But still, cricket has always been known as a gentleman's game or a gentlewoman's game, who always go by what is right rather than getting the way of the six. That is the beauty of it.
Can I just put in a point here?
Yes.
My last session of coaching was for 10-year-olds and below. It was the best coaching I ever had, because I could mold them. Now, when I teach children, I use 3 little things before I start taking them onto the field. Please, sorry, and thank you. And I ask them, I say, which is the most difficult? So they say, sorry. So I would ask them, why do you say sorry is the most difficult? And I says, we make a mistake, but we don't own up to those mistakes. And we find it very difficult to say sorry. So I said, okay, let's play a game today. We're going to play a game, and we're going to be using those 3 things. And we're going to see who's going to use maximum of which of those 3. And I used to ask them to get notebooks. So they used to write those things. And they went home that day, and they played that game with their parents. And at the end of the day, I get a call from one of the parents saying, thank you. I said, for what? She says, you made things so easy for me at home. Because it's the most difficult thing to tell somebody to say sorry. I think my day was made when I could be able to give them what a gentleman's game was. What is ethics? Why is it important to have ethics? You keep a timer here, you keep a code of uniform. That is what discipline is, and that is what is necessary. Without that, it's a hooligan's environment, Nobody knows what's happening. From all corners, everything is happening, and you don't know what's going to happen. So, you need to have that discipline. And ethics is what we need to follow.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
You once said that while watching Jemima play, Jemima Rodriguez, you feel like you're watching yourself. So, what excites you about her style, or what is it that you find admirable in her that you feel that you had during your time?
I admire her for 2 things. One is, she's a player once she's on the field. And she's a person who can get the whole house together when she's not playing. And it's very important to have teamwork. What is teamwork? Today, if I can get a smile on all of you, your faces, my day is made. So that's what she does when she's off the field. And when she's on the field, she makes sure that she is only looking at cricket. And that's how I used to follow the game. So I feel I'm playing when she's playing.
So we just want to shift the direction a little bit, and we have been talking about your journey while you were on the field, right? And we also felt it is valuable to know your journey off the field. And one of the great things that we learned, through social media is there's a lot of good work that you have been doing with underprivileged children, and especially girls, and how you guide them, mentor them, even push the parents kind of to let the girls come onto the field. So can you please share a little bit about the amazing work you are doing?
When I got married, I was accompanying my husband to the state of Bihar, which is Bengal and Bihar border. And we found that, the colony where we were staying, my husband was working for ACC, cement. So he had to be near the factory. So we had to be in the colony. And there, the ladies, unfortunately, they wouldn't even look at you because they couldn't even take that thing off.
Oh.
Okay. Now for a person like me to go to that place and to, accept all that took me a little while. So I would go and sit with the families when the husband would be busy in the factories, and I would, try and talk to them and try and see how we could allow those habits to continue, but at the same time give them a little bit of a break. So my mother-in-law, who is a very good badminton player and a very good all-rounder, said, I'm with you. Go ahead. Whatever support you want, I'll be there. And that's where I broke the ice with them, and I was able to connect with them. And we had a mixed cricket team match on the 26th of January. Even today, they ring me up and they call me and they say, you made our day for us. That itself is enough of blessings. 50 years down the line, we are there. That's it.
Ma'am, you just mentioned that 50 years down the line, after 50 years, we have won the World Cup. And now we have created a strong base for women's cricket. What changes would you like to see in the next 5 years in women's cricket?
I want cricket to travel to all corners of India, especially the smaller towns, where a girl is still expected to be within the household. It's not a very long distance that I'm expecting. We have already touched the bigger towns, and it will not take us a long while to go into those smaller places and start. I have one girl who used to come to me at the age of 7. Over the phone, I used to coach her. She's from Haryana. And she used to talk to me over the phone, and her father was her coach. And I was down with a cerebral stroke in the hospital where I couldn't hold a phone. And she was talking to me over the phone, and a person would have to hold the phone and I had to talk. But today, I can vouch that girl will play for India. And the day she plays for India, I'm going to buy the ticket and I'm going to be in the first seat to see her play.
That is the kind of support I think all of us look out for, even today. And it is really inspiring to hear that you are giving it to those young girls. And I am sure they will thrive under your mentorship.
I only ask for blessings from above, because without that we can't go ahead, right? There are two things that I only told her to be away from. One is the media, and the second is the mobile phone. I said, the moment you see the sunrise and the sunset, you're a healthier person, you don't need a doctor and nothing. Because then you are a true sports person. Then you are a true sports person because you see the whole day to yourself. How many of us have forgotten to smile? How many of us have forgotten to hold hands? How many of us have, put our hands over shoulders? I remember that Hindi song, Bachpan ke din, kabhi bhula na pana. Those days are the days which you need to bring back in yourself as you're growing. And this is what I inculcate in my younger students.
So a beautiful sharing. I think the words that were coming to my mind when you were sharing this is, can we start again moving back to meaningful connections from transactional relationships?
We can do it if we wish to. The wish has to be there and the will has to be there. Like we say, the will to win. The wish to do it. It's all in our hands. We want to do it, we do it. Like I have two dogs at home. I'm just giving you an example, okay? Normally, a person getting up in the morning first thing, you'll see what are the messages that have come. No. He doesn't allow me to touch the phone. I have to fondle him first, give him his food, and then I go to the phone. So that is what we need to do. We need to have somebody or something that takes us away from it. Even a cup of coffee sitting on a chair in your balcony, seeing the sunrise, seeing the birds. How many of us have that liberty? We're rushing, we're rushing, we're rushing. That's all that we're doing. When I used to have my mother who used to sit in the morning with a chair, seeing the sun. Now there's so many buildings, we don't even get rays of sun
Direct
in the
sunlight,
building. In our compound. So that's how it is. So I take the smallest opportunity to sit in the compound. The first interaction, I said we are sitting out. Because that opportunity never comes again. Those moments don't come. Sorry.
So ma'am, can I say that one life lesson that I can take from you is to slow down, to take a pause, to breathe, go out and touch the grass.
Even today, given an opportunity, I would be at the ground. I may not be able to walk for too long, but I will be at the ground. I completed 50 years of Test cricket. I had my first podcast. The gentleman who had come here, he did a podcast at the Nehru Stadium where I played my first Test. And the first thing I did was, when I went out, I saluted to the ground. And if that can be done, you just have to have that faith and that little time, a moment in the day to appreciate what was there earlier. That is why you have to slow down.
I think that is why we are called human beings.
Yes.
We have to be and not human doings.
Correct.
We have to
Correct.
shift from doing to being back.
Ma'am, I want to bring you back to our win again, to 2025 World Cup then. So, which moment did you felt that you were moved from? Was it the India's chase against Australia in the semi-finals, the 338 run chase? or was it the finals against South Africa?
To me, I would say Australia, India was the finals. Because if you could beat a team like Australia with the score that they had put up, that was the finals. And the moment for me was when Harmanpreet and Jemima were on the ground playing. They had given their heart out over there. They were literally, you could see Jemima struggling because her leg was not supporting her. But she carried the bat through. That is what a true sportsman is.
She carried the bat through and scored 127 runs, not out, which I believe is a great feat.
And having been dropped earlier, to come back into the team and to do this, you need a big heart. You need a big heart, and you need the will to win. So that's where I admire her, and I look at her as my younger days. This is what matters. Now, I saw a little button on Sir's coat as soon as Sir came in. There's a tricolour there. And the moment I see the tricolour, is the first thing I do is to stand like this. Because that's where we belong.
So we have a bit of twist. I hope that we are not putting you on hot seat, but our effort will be to make you as comfortable here. So it's a rapid fire.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and
hope I can keep the rapid fire going.
so the first rapid fire question is, cricket chose you or you chose cricket?
I chose cricket.
Batting at number 1 or coaching a young opener? What would you prefer?
At this moment, coaching a young one.
One superstition you had before walking out to bat?
Touch the ground, get your blessings. Not only of the ground, but of everyone who stood by me, my parents, my coaches, the country, and I walked out for the country.
Your favorite contemporary women cricket player that you like to watch?
At this moment,
Yes.
Jemima.
A shot you loved playing the most? Cover drive, straight drive, or cut?
I used to like to cut, but I was made to learn the drives, and then they became my favorite because that was the safest shot to play.
And one last question, ma'am. If not cricket, which career would Shobha Pandit choose?
I would choose to cater. I did my catering from Sophia College, Bombay, and I was feeding 400 children at V.K. Patil for 10 years. Even today they call me up and say, ma'am, we feel like having this. Can we come home and have it? I said, you come and help me because you're not a single person now. You have a family of 4. So you come, help me, we'll have it.
That is great, ma'am. So, ma'am has shared some of her pictures from her days when she used to play. So, we have some of pictures that we want to share with you guys.
One unique one is her wedding card.
So, guys, this is her wedding card.
Go further, there is a bat. So, spread.
Zoom out.
No, there's the top cover of that. So, ma'am's wedding card was of the shape of a cricket bat, which truly shows her love for cricket and her partner's support for her love during those times.
First one.
No, अजून एक. There is top cover of that.
Can go for it. I'll just check.
Yeah.
I don't see
So-
it on the email.
It's fine, we can. I hope you guys can see that this is a cricket bat.
So if there is a card which can be folded and it will become a bat.
Sir, did you bring that book?
Yeah, it's given to her.
It is with you.
It's in the bag.
It's here.
Oh, it's here. Maybe, you know,
I'll
we
take
have the,
So ma'am mentioned that she has authored a book, her own biography. Sir has it with him right now, and she also shared the hard copy of her wedding card, which we can show it to you right now.
Okay, so this is the wedding card. And when you open it, it is this. Okay. The card was like this. That was the passion for the game.
Can you show it to the
Okay, so you show it here.
it is a bookmark.
It is a book.
It is a bookmark.
And there is a book that she has written, Beyond Boundaries. And later on, she wants all of us to sign that poster. All of us present here today, please sign that poster at the back and we'll hand it over to her later on.
We would prefer it the other way around. We want
Yes,
your-
we want your.
Then
So this is
may I have all your signatures on that,
Sure.
Jemima, your
Jemima,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, okay.
on that one, because
Jemima.
that's going to be very dear to me.
Okay,
Yes.
Jemima is here today.
Yes,
Yeah.
and on this, I will give you my autograph.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So let's look at some more pictures from your time now. Since you have shared them so graciously. This is her playing.
This is at Dada Union, where I played against Sachin when he was in school and he had created that world record of 600 and odd, and where Amol Muzumdar never got batting. So that was one of the grounds which was very dear to me.
Next.
This is you practice.
So you were wearing glasses while playing?
I didn't have glasses when I started, but later on I did, and Vijay Merchant very kindly asked me, he said, is that glass or is that plastic? So I said, no, I can't afford plastic and I don't even know where I can get plastic lenses. He said, give me the number, and he got it from India. And that's what I used till the end of the day.
The amazing
Is this your shot?
There's one more important photo here where the girls are carrying the mat. So that was the situation where they were supposed to do everything.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
That was what my coach wanted me to do. So the moment I did it, he said, I want a photograph with that. So that's when he got that photograph done.
This is like a complete model-like feel.
So was it common that you had to carry mat and things like that?
Oh yes, and this happens to be the highest ground in the world. It's at Shale, near Simla, where we did altitude training before going to New Zealand and Australia.
Oh.
Amazing.
Do they have more pictures?
No.
That's
Pakistan. Pakistan.
Okay. So we are all aware about the India-Pakistan, the great rivalry. Was it back then? Was it still there back then in women's cricket?
In women's cricket, it wasn't as bad as that. In fact, I remember when the captain of the Pakistani team came in with her baby. It was the Indians who were looking after the baby more than the Pakistanis, because that's how we are on the field. You know, if you go to see, there's a no man's land on the boundary, on our borders.
Border.
But they're sharing their defense without you knowing it. And that is what it is. It is, you know, you've got to be there to realize what it is. Ultimately, they're human beings. And there's always a, you know, the five fingers are there. One can be a The nasty one, the four can be good ones. So that nasty one is the one who's the troublemaker. But the four are good. That's how we see it.
Audience, can I ask questions?
Do we have any questions?
Okay, audience have some questions. So WhatsApp me, please. Please WhatsApp me the questions.
So
Do we have enough time to take them?
Hmm?
Do we have
We have
time?
We can have 10 minutes.
Okay. Guys, if you
So
have any
while we are
questions,
sharing questions,
please share them with Prasad
share
sir
with you.
So
on
we'll
WhatsApp.
select the question. That's why.
Yeah, yes, that's the question. So one question for you, ma'am, while we are trying to get questions is, if there is one thing you could change in the cricketing world, then what would it be?
Like we have team spirit on the field, we also have certain members who are the TRP, the PROs of the team. But we have 11 players playing. So all 11 players should be given that opportunity. Because they are just as important as the 4 or the 5 people who are, representing the team. Because we are feeling it today. We are feeling it today, so we shouldn't have the other future teams to have that feeling. Like today, if somebody sitting at the back bench is asked to come and talk and is never asked to come and talk, would that person have the confidence to do it? You have to give that person a chance to come and talk every day. Then that person gets the confidence. Like Richa Ghosh, she was a top order bat, but she was sent lower down.
Finisher.
The reason being that she gives confidence to the tail enders. So that is what is important, and that is what should be the thing inculcated from day one from the captain, that all are equal. Never underestimate somebody and never overestimate yourself, is what I would like to teach and follow.
There's one question with similar message from two persons, so I'll read both. But same, you can take together and answer.
Okay.
How does one uplift themselves when they feel like the world or time is against them? And the other question is, what's your message to someone who's dedicated, disciplined, meticulous, yet their day has not yet come? They are good in their work, but they haven't achieved success. What's your message for such people?
Every day we cannot have good food served on our plate. There are days when you may just have one single roti and a little sabji, but that day also you are full. Why? Because you're able to adjust to that situation. It is not that you are not going to be getting a full thali next day. Similarly, there are days when things don't work the way you plan, the way you get up in the morning. You may have got up from the wrong side of the bed. So how do you adapt to that situation on that day? Whatever you're trying to tell your boss, he's not listening. Keep quiet. Whatever you're trying to do is not happening. Just sit for 10 minutes, just close your eyes, slow down. Slow down is my bottom line. Because the world is moving so fast that they don't have the time to sit and think. I see when I go to Bombay, I have been born and brought up in Bombay, but the moment I step down in Bombay, I see people running around for trying to catch the train, trying to do this, trying to do that. Sit, talk, quiet, that's all. So that's how I would see is slow down. Maybe that will give you time to think, give you a solution to what you may not be doing correctly. You may be doing it correctly, but you may not have presented it correctly. So give your brain a little time to think. Slow down.
I have a doubt.
I hope I have answered the question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There is one question about West Indian fast bowlers who were notorious for bodyline, and in 1976-77 tour, India declared when the bowlers were getting injured. So which women bowlers from West Indies were traded when you were playing?
When we were playing, definitely the Western bowlers were 6 feet plus, but they were not harmful. Except that the first ball that I faced was a Yorker. And the third ball that I faced was again a Yorker that hit my nail, my big toe of my left leg, which even today is troubling.
Oh,
But
that far.
that nail came and stood up like this in the shoes. My shoes were cobbler made, so they had to rip open that shoe to get my foot out.
Oh dear.
And 5 times that nail has come out. And every time I go to the doctor, she says, "This is the last time. If the nail comes out again, you're not going to get a nail again over there." But they were not harmful. They were not, they did bowl bouncers, they did bowl us body line, but they were not harmful.
There is one question about favorite stadium. Which is your favorite stadium in India and outside India?
In India, I'll say Eden Gardens.
Huh?
Eden
Eden
Gardens.
Eden Gardens.
Because that's where
Very
I
fantastic.
walked into the Indian team as an opener. During a selection match, I scored 25 in 8 balls. I didn't know what IPL was. I didn't have a Kookaburra bat in my hand. But I did score 25 in 8 balls. I'm sure people would realize what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And when I was called back by the selectors, I had tears in my eyes. So they got perturbed. They said, we're not shouting at you. You've not done anything wrong. We want to talk to you. And that time I was a middle order bat. They said, are you ready to open the batting order for India? I said, yes sir, I will do anything you say. So they said, fortune always favors the brave. You're going to open the batting order for India. So Eden Gardens is where I started representing India.
So we just want to take the opportunity, ma'am, again to thank you from the bottom of our hearts to take out time for us and giving us such amazing pearls of wisdom. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, guys.
If you can give me 2 minutes, I have a little surprise for you. Okay. Something from my bag and I will get.
Please sit down for a couple of minutes.
Maybe many more were better than me, but I'm an amateur as far as this is concerned. But I love music, I love instruments. And if I can give you 2 minutes of happiness after this, I'll be happy. Yeah?
Yep.
Yes.
God says to
gallery.
Ma'am, I would like to thank you again from all of us for being here, sharing your experiences, your stories with all of
अरे
Madam.